Well, good day, everybody. This is Coleman Alderson checking in for Gardensall.com. And today I wanted to share with everybody how it's going with the Garden Planner, which is an app that we downloaded and looked at in December, then proceeded in January in earnest to work the plan and use that as a guide for our gardening this season. As a result, it's interesting because the way we used to garden, you could go out and probably plant a sign in our garden that says, "I don't remember planting this," which tends to be the case for a lot of us, I guess. But I wanted to be a bit more orchestrated and organized and be able to track what it is we're planting. We're having a lot of varieties. We want to do a better job of how to do succession type gardening so that as one group fades out into the season, we have another one to plant in its place, and we'd really like to do a knockout job of doing that. So today we are about a third into the cold crop season, and we've already set things out. We're already harvesting arugula, some of our smaller leaf chard, some spinach, some lettuce, and it's going along great. We're using straw bale method combined with raised bed, and it seems to be working okay. We had to do a lot of renovation to get it set up, but all that being said, today I wanted to show you all, kind of looking over my shoulder, our next upgrade and how I would approach it using this garden planner system. It's I wish, in the years of landscaping, I wished I'd had this, even in gardening now looking back, I wished I'd come across this and that it had the same capabilities as we're discovering now. But sharing the screen with you, I'll try to explain best I can as to what's going on as I move through the creation of this new garden area. If the picture on the article that we're putting up about this is clear, you should be able to see that we've done our plantings, and some things are covered with remake covers just to keep the bugs away, basically. And we've already gone through several hard frosts, and I must say the system used with using some sort of string or some sort of wire stretched from one pole to another over the bales, and then draping some kind of fabric, uh, heavy duty. We've been using a thing that's agribon, I believe, and it's called a fleece fabric, has definitely saved the day. It's gotten us through several frosts, rather hard freeze that really knocked out our fig plants, but our others have survived so far, and so good. All right, now we're in the basic layout, and it's showing it works as, if you all know about Photoshop and whatnot, it does work with layers, and you can look at individual layers. Right now, this is the taskbar up here where you want to click on what it is you want, basic shapes, things you can do to fill in the shapes, the letters, lines, all of that. I'm not here to do a real tutorial. I'm basically here to pique your interest and let you know that this type of app has really served us well. And you can go online. It has video tutorials, which I've not actually looked at all of them, kind of like a roadmap, right? It's a guy thing maybe. But yeah, we're really enthused about all this program can do. Now, currently, from the sort of overview level, what I have is it's in, see this SFG, square foot gardening mode, and I can switch on this, and it will give me basically the dimensions. If I want to do a square foot garden, it will plug the plants and the number of plants allowed in each square foot. So you look over, say, in the cauliflower section, well, you get 1 per square foot. You look over in the beets that I've laid out here, there are 9 per square foot, onions 16. And it's fairly handy. I like the concept. It's somewhat restricted because sometimes you can't put your object or your plant exactly where you want it, but that's okay. All the other things it does is just great. So we're in the square foot gardening mode right now, and I'm going to illustrate how you can use this program to create a whole new section in a garden. Now the top line is an incredible assortment of shapes. Some of you would be familiar with this if you work with any graphics program at all. It also has, on the second bar, you have your plant list, and it's pretty amazing too. Whoops, I mean to click on you. It's pretty amazing too. It starts out alphabetically, runs through the whole gamut of just about anything that you'd want to plant, from arugula to zucchini, and it also includes here and there fruit trees in various configurations, as you can see, espalier, cordon dwarf. And an interesting thing, like with the trees, just a simple click, and you see the zone. It anticipates the area needed. So you would want to plant it right here. This is the area of shade it may throw off. And that can also be adjusted as to orientation. So if this is as if the sun's right above it, but you can also adjust according to where you are in the orientation as to north, south, east, west. And there you have it. You can move this shadow around on your own. But it's interesting. This is just one brief example. And to get out of it, there's a big red X I use all the time because I'm all the time messing it up and needing to do over. As far as the plants go, you can do just the generic, like let's just say on this project I'm starting, I want to do tomatoes. I'm clicking on a shape here, and if we're going to do straw bales, I know straw bales are approximately 18 inches wide and 3 feet long. And this is a pretty cool feature. You see how I'm stretching it out. So we're about at 1 feet 6 inches. I'm stretching it out to 3 at 1/6. Okay, pretty darn cool. And I've already done one down here. I'm going to just match them up. Now, this is to the south, down in this direction. The whole garden gets, it's in a cleared patch, and it is a garden patch because we have trees all around, and this gets about 6 hours, the bare minimum of direct sunlight per day during the season. And so it's kind of testy, but most of the sun is right in this zone in here. And it's a shame we have tomatoes that I brought out from seedlings, and I don't know how to give them away or sell them. So it just makes more sense for us to set out more straw bales on this rather compacted dirt and grow those tomato seedlings on, as many as we can. So I'm pretending these boxes are straw bales. Now I could keep doing the drag and adjust thing and placing them, but this is one of the coolest features. It has you see how it's boxed off here with the little squares. What I do is go up here where it says copy, So I've just copied this, and right next to it is a paste. So let's say I need 3 more of these. Here's 1, 2, 3. And then it's just a matter of dragging. I don't have to worry about those dimensions. They should be the same. And putting them in line. And I'll make a little adjustment here. Okay. Put it in. I mean, this is like Legos. It's simple. Even I can do it. Okay. And I also want to be aware of leaving some sort of path in here. It's the compost bin. I didn't label it. I don't know what it is. We have an ornamental bridal wreath spirea here, which we cut back severely. We have a knockout rose. We cut that back severely. But these do attract pollinators. Same with the butterfly bush here. And, you know, we like having those pollinators close by. We even have a patch of what they call Joe Pye weed. Sorry, I don't know the scientific name, but it's a milkweed that's about 8 feet tall, and eventually it'll keel over, but it's coming up as volunteers over in this area, which is fine. It's in semi-shade. And man, do the butterflies love it. These two. That's Joe Pye weed. It's a, you know, it's, just think of it as a milkweed that is super tall. Well, so we have our structures here, and as I mentioned that, this box here where it says all layers allows you to go through the various layers that have been placed on this. And it's another cool thing. It's like 3-dimensional tic-tac-toe. Well, I click on this, and now all the apparent layers in terms of structures are here. You see the fencing, the trellising, and all that. We have just the plants alone. You'll notice the frameworks and all that kind of fade out. Irrigation. This was fun. These are all soaker hoses that I laid out, and it's kind of, you know, you got to work with it to get a hang of it, and it's not perfect. You know, these lines do move around, and uh, you kind of, it's easy to get one bent in the wrong way and all that, but it's a matter of learning and picking up on how to adjust these things and make them look a little better. I was a little sloppy on this, I must admit, but the idea is how these lines are going to run and how they're going to match up with the layout. We have central water right here, one stand-up bib, I guess you call it a stanchion, and it's feeding out to, here's a wand. They didn't have a wand in the images, so I pretend this is the wand. And we have one set going here, one set going here, and this long one here actually is going to our water scarecrow, which is, I'll just put a little knob up here to indicate the water scarecrow is up here at this corner, and does a good job. It covers this whole area with a motion detector and a harsh, cold jet of water. When it's interrupted, it'll give a 5-second spurt, and they'll stop, and then they'll wait and give another 5-second spurt until whatever it is moving around gets out of range. So just walking through these, and apologize if this is rather random, but as I look at these things, the thought occurs I'll just show you what it looks like. Now I've reverted back to all layers, and this sort of clear thing here is what is cool in the structure category. You have trellises, you have chicken coop, you have fencing, you have a little greenhouse that you can put kind of like a tunnel house, you have a hoop house. all these things are you just click on it, drag it down, and use it to cover. And what's kind of nice, like with this example here, we'll go back so you can see. This is a rather lightweight remade cover, and to show that it's covering the arugula here, I created this, but you can see it just comes off and on. You just left click and hold and drag, and it moves around. Same with this guy up here. And this is actually a tunnel that has shade cloth on it right now. Well, back to the subject at hand. We have tomatoes in flats. They're going to be planted, okay? And I want to use these bales as the medium in which to grow the tomatoes. You'll notice when I move up to a tomato, a little text box comes in and it says square foot of tomato large, Cherokee purple. And this one here, Cherokee purple. Now we have Beauty Queen, which is another variety. Here we have Beauty Queen again, and one of our favorite, Hillbilly Flame. And here's the Hillbilly again. So we're trying out these new tomatoes. You go and you can get Cherokee purple fairly quickly, but I don't see too many Beauty Queens or Hillbilly Flames out there. So we ordered from one of our seed providers, fairly common on the online market. But we have a good many of the Hillbilly, a good many of the heirloom Cherokee purple. We also have some Amish paste, which I've kind of sorted out over here. This is actually in a raised bed. So, and all along here we have strung wire between two T-posts, from here all the way over to just about here. And we're going to use the wires to train the tomatoes up as high as they will go. We got plenty of room. So what I'm going to do, I'm going over, and this is the way you would probably set up with this. To the T's. And large tomato, one click. I'm going to drag it down to place here. Now, this is generic. There's nothing, it just says large tomato. And I prefer to have it identified. So you double click, and this is a really, really cool feature. I click on the variety and I scroll down, and let's say I really like that Hillbilly. I go down and down and down to the H's. And soon enough, here we go. Here's the Hillbilly. And you'll notice here, it also says dates actually in the ground. The default is all growing season. But I'm going to change this because we're not going to put it in the ground till May. And then it'll be coming out likely. Maybe we'll have a long season. But let's just say October. Now what this does, I can also label. If I click on this, it will allow me to show the label that I automatically know what it is. But I kind of like it. No, I'll do this anyway. So there it is, Hillbilly. It's a little messy. Don't really like the look. Double click. So I'll unclick that, and we're done. Okay, and when I move my cursor over it, there it is. There's the Hillbilly tomato. You see that? Okay, good. Now, if I wanted to plant more of them, this is in square foot mode, so I can't just drag it out. If I was in another mode, I could take this and just drag it along. I'll go ahead and show you. Okay, switch off. I say okay, we'll switch off. And oh, my bad, didn't do it. Okay, it's stuck. Maybe because this is the way I started. It's still kind of stuck on the one thing. Let's see if I can get out. Okay. We're not going to get in the weeds too far with this. But I could keep pulling from up here this tomato thing, and then I'd double click and I'd go to the variety that we're looking at, such as we have beefsteak. Where'd it go? Yeah, beefsteak. And that's going to be in the ground from May, hopefully October. Okay. Done. Now, watch what happens. I put it there, and there's beefsteak. Now, rather than have to flip back and forth and go into that identification, identify the variety screen, back to here, click on that so it's basically bracketed, then copy. Now, we want two more of these to show up. There we go. There's one and there's two. So we're going to go with 3 in each bale. I'll do the same over here, and we'll do 1, 2, and boom, boom. So we're all lined up. Notice we have a little room in the front, and this is where I would be inclined. We've already done some here where I planted kohlrabi, maybe some flowers, some calendula, some beets. Just we have this tight little space here, but you could do onions, I suppose. Little space in there that we could do stuff with. So we just continue on, and we keep doing this number here with these guys. Now, up at the top, this is one of the coolest things, and I think it's what sold me on this square foot planter garden. And excuse me, it's a it's a garden planter. Is you see this little patch up here? It renders the plant list. Everything that we have put up on the map, on the layout, is here. And you'll notice too, it has the actual, in this case, arugula rocket. We entered that. Basil, dark purple opal, we've entered that. On down to the tomatoes that we just did. Okay. And we have Beauty King, Beauty Queen. Here's the beefsteak. And if you'll notice, at the top and the bottom, you have your schedule. The blue shows when you start indoors. The green shows when you plant, and the orange shows when you start to harvest. And this is just great. This is just, boom, it's all there. And it also has a feature where you can, like here, it says buy, right? I could do this. I want the Amish paste, and a new browser window opens. Okay. and it takes me to Burpee. Or there's several others. I think Baker Creek is on there. Uh, there's some really other cool companies if you're interested in the heirlooms. But this just took me to Burpee, and you can do that. And then once you've done that, go back. Um, so it just shows you that it indicates that you haven't bought it yet. Actually, we have. I just have not been keeping up with these buys. I do other things, knowing what I keep our receipts and all that. So, but it is a handy dandy thing because think of it, it gives you the option of knowing, you know, how sometimes you go into the catalog or go online and start running down the online catalog looking for that particular pipe. Well, this takes you right to the page. You know, it's really kind of cool. Um, let's see, Tatsoi. We have high mowing organic seeds. Um, it looks like the top one will be an assortment. There's Burpee again. And you can configure this to however you want to have it searched. It can be specific to the like up here. If I only want it was defaulting to Burpee seeds, but you can put it on Baker. Anyhow, we can get into the weeds, so to speak, on that. But you can select, and they will cover that for you. You know, they have the Beauty Queen, they have the Cherokee Purple, they have the Pineapple, they have the Pork Chop. Okay, they may not have the Hillbilly. It's a nice little shortcut, but the main thing is this just shows you right on through the year of how to do it and when to do it. So you click back on here, and what I'm going to do is line these guys up. And the reason I put that seasonal thing like from May to October is because if I wanted to, I could come in here right now. It's set on all months and all layers. I can say I want to look at what maybe I could do in February. Let's see, March. February. These guys should disappear. Some of them have. Go back to all months. And it deactivates these guys basically. Done. Go to plants, months, March. Here they go. So say I wanted to do something in March. It gives me 2 months. Maybe I could plant arugula in here, put a cover over it all, and then come back after the arugula is pretty well spent. Maybe harvest it all out in the back. Maybe plant peas in here early on and have them come up and incorporate them into the bales for extra nitrogen, or it could be just a garden row. That'd be more appropriate. But when we go back to all months, everything pops back. These are all the plants, and back to all layers. So these are the main features that I just wanted to highlight as we go along. We're planning. We'll have to figure out how to get water down to these guys. We may come off here and do a little split. Oops. Supply tubing down here, like that. And then run to either side. You get the idea of how that would work. It's gravity because it's all downhill, and we can work a post in here. Do a quick post. Go into structures. And this is a trellis system, so I would act like it's just a typical trellis system running like that. There. And it would be over more or less like that because it is over the center. Okay. We'll shorten it up. It is really kind of cool the way this thing can be shifted about and actually look pretty reasonable as to the dimensions, and it's very helpful. So that's it for this afternoon, this little session. I appreciate everybody checking in, and do check out the Garden Planner. It has a few glitches, and next time I'll cover some of the things that could use some improvement. But as a planning system, again, I really do wish I'd known about this, quite a while ago, so we could have avoided some of the mistakes that we made. And of course, we'll make some more in the future. But it's just really neat. I can lose time in this, just planning stuff out and kind of imagining how everything's going to lay out. But we'll see how it goes. We have potatoes coming in. We're going to be planting sweet potatoes over here. I just planted potatoes in a tower. Some of those Peruvian purple fingerling type in here, and we'll see what we can scare up for this tower. These are blocks that we're growing in. We had experimenting with the chimney flue. I don't know whether you've seen those. They're terracotta, about 14 by 14, 4 feet tall, and we'll see what we can do with these guys. Still wondering about how we're going to, what we're going to put in here. That's it for the day. I appreciate you all checking in for Gardensall.com. This is Coleman Alderson, and we'll be seeing you later. Thank you so much.